where'd you go to school? Did you go to what high school did you go to?
I went to Bayside High School. They're out there in Queens.
Yeah.
And I went there for art. Like I said, I was inspired by art, so I went there. And funny enough, I just wasn't inspired by the art curriculum there. It wasn't like they were necessarily teaching me anything or inspiring me to take my considerable talent to another level.
Right.
So I felt kind of lost for a while there, and you know, the people that were talented were again older than me and on their way out, that were just talented because they were talented, not because of what Bayside put them through.
Yeah.
So I just felt that like this was an art known for art. The school was known for art, but at the same time, it was also more of a sports kind of school too. They were really well known for their women's baseball team and their baseball team and their football team. And I just felt that I was like, man, this is like, is art really the thing? And so I struggled with that the first 3 years there in high school. But then at the end, I finally realized that art was the thing to do, and I went to Parsons School of Design.
Oh, wow. So then going to high school and doing art, was it mainly like, were you painting? Were you like designing stuff already, clothes and stuff like that? Or?
No, yeah, like I said, I didn't feel like it was pushing my limits to really get to another level and really harness the talent I was trying to develop.
Right.
Yeah, it was, the art classes were, they just weren't challenging.
Basic art classes.
They just weren't challenging, and they weren't teaching me techniques or anything, or like, So that's why I just felt it was super weak. Yeah. For it being an art school or known for having a good art program, it was very weak.
And then so you went to you went to Parsons.
Yep.
Did you graduated from there?
Yeah, I graduated from Parsons.
How was it there? Because I have a few friends that just graduated, but they never get to tell me their experience and stuff. So
yeah, Parsons was amazing, man. It was very challenging. Quite the opposite from Bayside.
Really?
It was grueling. It was boot camp. The first year was like boot camp, and I'm just fortunate that I got in to even have had the opportunity to even like push myself through it. Yeah. Funny enough, when I applied to the school, the admissions counselor was somebody I used to skateboard with.
Oh, no way.
And he was someone I hadn't seen in maybe 4 or 5 years. So lucky enough, I met him when I went to show my portfolio, and he really guided me and gave me some great advice on how to push my portfolio.
Okay.
Because again, the portfolio wasn't strong because it was Bayside, and it just wasn't. The courses weren't challenging. So thanks to him, it really motivated me to like add to my portfolio and improve it. And I will say, thanks to him again, it gave me the opportunity to get in and push through. And first year was super tough. It's called Foundation, and man, it's like drill sergeant boot camp of art.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like, if you can make it through, like anyone that made it through Foundation, I'm sure people out there that are listening that went through it. When you make it through Foundation, you feel like you can do anything.
You ever go home, you ever like sit there stressing out like, damn, how am I going to make it through this? Am I going to pass?
Yeah,
you ever have those days?
Man. There was a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of, grinding it out, feeling out of my comfort zone 90% of the time. But yeah, it was amazing. It was well worth it.
Yeah. So then what, I always, I'm curious as to what people always talk about. You have to submit a portfolio if you want to go to this design school, this art school. What does a portfolio look like? Is it just a mix of all your previous work that you've done? How does that?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, a portfolio is just your experience. It's simply that. It's what you've experienced through a course of the time leading up to this submission. Right. Of whether it's a job or an art school or whatever it is, So basically, I mean, there's no like dedicated menu list or like, here's what you have to have in your portfolio. I don't, if there is, it might not be the Bible in my opinion, because it's just, again, it's like, don't do something you're not good at just to say I did it and put it in a portfolio because you just felt like you had to have that extra thing in your portfolio to help you get the job or get into the school. No, it's like, what is your passion? Like, really, submit to your passion and just dive into it and do it. And there's going to be a lot to learn from that passion. There's so many little things that it's going to come out of you in doing that. The experimentation of it, the research of it, the hours of just putting in the time, you know, whatever. For example, like if you were, you know, sketching something, like if you put a lot of hours into it, you're going to be very comfortable with a pencil.
Yeah.
Just because you put in all that time. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that's very, very good. They're like, all right, great. His ideas aren't great, but man, his sketch technique is incredible. That's already a plus. You know, or hey, you know, his sketch technique is terrible, but his thinking is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what a portfolio is. It shows your personality. It shows your talent, and you know, talent could be seen in so many different ways. You know, it's not about a pretty picture. It's not about a correctly rendered autonomy of whatever it is your subject is.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that, you know, naive people would say, hey, look, that drawing is terrible. And a person who's very educated and experienced would be like, wow, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
weird like that,
Yeah.
but that's a reality. It's like, what were they thinking? You know, like, okay, look past the technique, look past the execution. You
Just
know,
deeper meaning into what
there's
they're
like,
doing.
What were they thinking? Like,
Yeah.
wow, that is very relevant, or well, that's very unorthodox, or whatever. And then that's, you know, that is an ingredient of talent.
Mm-hmm.